at ESC United, hopefully your favorite Eurovision channel. This is all a little impromptu, unexpected live stream where I just wanted to come together and talk about, I guess, Eurovision, right? Because that's what we do here. And I know a lot of people are busy watching the turquoise carpet right now, and that is fine. But I figured I'll jump on anyway to see what's going on and just to answer some questions that came up on social media in particular. But yes, today is Sunday, May 16th, and that is the day where we are technically off in terms of Eurovision press activity. There, the press center and the Rotterdam Ahoy Arena is closed for the day. Although I was there earlier to get a COVID test, I'm negative. And yeah, but other than that, there is no activity, no rehearsals whatsoever. That will start tomorrow. And so I figured, well, since we don't have anything particular going on, may as well just have a little chit chat and just talk about what happened over the last week, what happened today, and of course, what to expect over the upcoming week. Because we're only halfway there. There is still so much Eurovision to watch and talk about. So I see a few people already in the chat just saying hi. So I'm saying hi back to you. Hi, Viv. Val, thank you, by the way, for becoming a supporter of ESC United. That is always very much appreciated and super helpful. And Thomas is say isn't there that he already has a question. If you follow me on social media, Matt ESC United on Twitter, you know already the answer to his questions, but I will delve into that in just a moment. Frankie is there. Hello, Marco and Lovro. So thank you so much just for this little very casual get together here. No pressure. I'm just here in my apartment, locked away. But that is okay because while I may not be out there at the turquoise carpet tonight, I do at least get to drink water out of a wine glass because I'm fancy like that. And yeah, cheers. So before we jump, and by the way, first of all, I am here at my apartment. Not, I don't own it. I'm here at my Airbnb apartment, and in case the internet goes kind of wonky, that's why, I don't know. I don't have much control over it. I'm sure it's not as good as the one as that I have in the press center. But so if something happens, hang on there. I'll be right back. Oh, Melanie's in the chat as well. My team member already missing you on my day off, man. I know, Melanie. Why aren't you in the arena right now? Are you supposed to take pictures? Oh no, that's right. Close. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow. So plenty of time together. But yeah. So I just wanted to chat with you. As I mentioned before, if you follow me on social media, I initially was planning on going to the red carpet. I had a received an invitation to get a booth on the carpet itself for like exposure to the artists. Okay, no pun intended when I say exposure. But ultimately, I made a decision earlier because we've heard about Poland yesterday that someone in the delegation tested positive COVID. So they're all now under lockdown until further notice and get tested. The same thing that happened to Iceland, I think, earlier today. And since Romania and Malta, they all are staying at the same hotel. They're all currently in not quarantine, but in some kind of isolation until they get the green light to actually rehearse. So they all have to go for a PCR COVID test. So ultimately, there was just too many concerns, knowing that there are already at least a couple of individuals that have been tested positive for COVID, that there could be potentially more people out there exposing somebody else. So I ultimately made the decision to not attend the event, and it sucks. It really sucks now because initially I was like, I don't know if I want to go, but now I got really excited to go. And then I was given this very special invitation, and I was so honored by it. And the fact that I just kind of toss it to the side, it sucks. I hope I didn't piss off anyone. So my apologies to the Hibby and everybody else if that upset. I don't think they're going to be upset. I hope they understand why the decision had to be made on my end, because health comes first. And yes, I miss out on a lot of fun stuff, but hey, there are other still fun things to do. And at least, as I said, I get to drink water out of my wine glass. And maybe later on, I will actually upgrade it and have Fanta. So, and of course, stroke waffles. So I am all situated. So, yes. So just want to let you know this is what's happening, and I don't judge anybody who made a different decision than me. We all have to make the decisions what we feel is right, and that is just a decision that my conscience is clear. As much as it sucks, it really sucks because I feel like I want to be there too, and the weather is beautiful now. The weather is beautiful, and I'm here. But maybe I go for a little walk later. But yeah, and of course, this is a very casual thing. So feel free just to post your questions at ESC United in the chat and I will answer them. Sean is saying, Matt, the red carpet is stressful enough normally, so you made the right choice. Thank you, Sean, on my team. It is stressful anyway, but at least I had my own place, so it seemed less stressful. But it is what it is, and it's not the most important event to me anyway, especially right now this year. I think some people were criticizing the EBU for holding it, and I understand where you're coming from. I also will not defend is the right word, but I understand the very difficult decision that the EBU has put into here because they canceled virtually everything. And that was the only event that they felt was at least safe enough or reasonably safe to do, right? And they did such a fantastic, or still are doing a fantastic job in the press center, around the arena, all the testing, the rules that are in place. It's tough doing this, right? But they are so good at it and they're being so thorough. So I have zero ill will towards EV. They're doing a fantastic job. So this is just a personal decision that I made. Oh, and right, Mappa. So can I say that you're feeling fantastic? Yes, I do feel fantastic. Because the only reason I drink Fanta a lot here when I'm in Europe, because we have Fanta in the United States, but it has all that artificial sweetener and that coloring in there. It looks like, because it's almost empty here, Fanta. It's supposed to be like yellowy. In America, it's bright orange. So it's disgusting. It doesn't taste the same. It's way more refreshing here. So every time I'm here, I am getting that. So what's your feeling about how many people might have been infected? Do you think delegations have been stretching the rules a bit too much? Dominic is asking. Make sure that you always do at ESC United so I can see your questions. But you can make a case that they may have stretched it a little bit. Here's the thing. Once again, I'm going to defend the EBU a little bit. The EBU put all these rules in place to the best of their abilities. Some delegations did a better job than others following the rules, and that is the issue. So yes, I would say some delegations were a little bit more, loose when it comes to following the rules. So I'm even saying those like Iceland and Poland were the ones, because sometimes it's just bad luck, right? When somebody gets it. I don't know the circumstances of how all this happened, but some delegations could have done a better job. I agree with that. And I'm not going to call out anybody, but some did much better than others. So, but yeah, that is at least my perception. But other than that, I am still stoked about the next week. And keep in mind, even though it feels like there is so much uncertainty going on, the odds are 90%, 95% that all the artists are going to be okay. This is just a very drastic measure that they put in place to prevent any potential infection. And better safe than sorry, they say, right? And that's exactly what they've done. Malta and Romania in particular, they're going to be fine. They're going to be most likely fine. They just happen to be in the same hotel, and that's about it. So the odds of anything happening fairly slim. I was actually on ESC Extra live stream. They invited me real quick, which was super nice. Young guys there. They were really nice, and I love talking to them. I need to go back there. And I just had a few questions as well. Apparently, my tweet kind of caught fire a little bit, and that was not my intention. I didn't want to make a big statement. It was just more like, hey, I'm not going. That's all I was saying. And I got hundreds and hundreds of likes and tons of retweets. And I'm like, okay, I didn't realize it's such a big deal that people felt so strongly about it. But looking at the numbers on people watching that stuff, it's still very popular. So Saf asking, where are you staying? It looks super nice. It's just a small apartment. I would move the camera, but it's a little messy in here. So I don't want to look like a slob. Whatever. Don't judge me. You can see some stuff here. Oh, that's not too bad, I guess. That's my shoes. It's just a small apartment in Rotterdam, not too far from the arena, like a 6-minute train ride. Got it. I said earlier, I don't have a turquoise carpet, but I have a rug right here, so that counts for something, right? And that's a trash bag in the back. I haven't put. I had to clean up a little bit, so that is what happened there. And yeah, so this is where I'm staying, just in my cozy place. I know I had a few people over, well, a few people over, not like I had Melanie and Boris over, and Roy, my team, because we're all, tested every 48 hours, so that we can be around each other, because that's the only people I actually have exposure to. So that's nice. So I just want to also just talk about what today again. I made that decision, and it kind of sucks. I'm a little bummed out, but I am okay, and I know I made the right decision. Blah 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 blah. But I want to also talk about what happened over the last week and answer some of your questions. One odd parrot, for instance, asking Matt, "Do we think the Netherlands organizing the show should give them some slack because of the circumstances, or they had 2 years, so it should be epic"? No, a little bit of both, maybe, but mostly give them some slack. These are unique circumstances in just very unique times, and considering the circumstances, they are doing a phenomenal job. I've been very clear about that. A few things that initially were little hiccups, but they were addressed right away, like the long wait lines when you're trying to get into the press center and all that stuff, and some other stuff, not plugs, but they fixed them like right away. This has been a very good organization. And my hat is off to the EBU, to the Dutch broadcaster, the executive supervisor of the Seats de Bakker. They've done a really phenomenal job. So we always easy to criticize everything that doesn't go right, but when goes right, it goes really right. So I am mighty impressed. Guess we all decided not to attend the non-carpet ceremony. You make more sense to us. Well, that is very sweet of you, Walter. I mean, me personally, it's really fun to be there and like getting the vibe. Everyone is dressed up and excited. But just standing there for hours at a time is also pretty tough. So in some ways, this is almost better, but at the same time, I'm missing out on a lot. But I appreciate the compliment there. Um, ARM is saying, considering you're in the arena all day, it looks pretty good. Don't be hard on yourself. You are not there for cleaning. That is true. That is exactly. I had a little bit time today to do some of it and yesterday, but you know, I live here. I need it's for the next week at least. Still, who is the front runner at the moment? Well, we get into that soon, Jaren. So ask that question in a couple of minutes. I just think that first of all, that this past week has been so different and unique compared to previous years in some ways, and yet somehow familiar. But other than that, it was awesome. We have a very small team here locally. We have Boris and Melanie and myself, and that's all there is to it. And then we have a few people online. We have Roy, we have Sean joining us as soon as he feels better, and we had Connor, so we had and James and different others, so it was really nice. But it is a different thing when you only have a small group of people doing the local work here. And it was a little bit more stressful in the beginning, but I think we got a pretty good rhythm at some point, and I'm enjoying that part. Now, in terms of coverage, we had Melanie doing all the social media stuff, Boris a lot of the articles and writing. I'm doing the live stream, leading the live stream with a lot of other folks. So we all had stuff to do. This will change a little bit now in the upcoming weeks. Now that we have a week. I wish there would be more weeks. 1 week. Switch it up a little so to make sure that everyone gets to do their stuff. But it was a really nice week, and now we are done with the individual rehearsal portion, right? All countries, including the Big Five and the host, have rehearsed twice now. They had their 2 individual rehearsals, so that process is done, and now we're moving on to the actual dress rehearsal. So it's a different kind of process there. There were a lot of surprises and non-surprises, for the lack of a better word, but I think overall the quality of staging has been fascinating, and the EBU here, the Dutch broadcast, have been very flexible in terms of what's to allow into the arena. It seems like with the United Kingdom having these super big trumpets, they're like, hey, we have these gigantic trumpets, they're like 2 kilometers long, can we bring them? And the Dutch broadcast like, sure, we'll make it work. And they did. And that kind of stuff. It's just fantastic to see people being very creative, not just with the LED, but with some props and just the overall idea. I think there were so many beautiful performances and stagings where they really made me go like, oh, I didn't pay attention before. Portugal is one example, beautiful staging. I'm still not convinced if whether it's going to qualify, but it looks amazing. Italy's staging was amazing, a song that I'm not into, and I'm watching it. I'm like, wow, I get it when if people would like it now because it just looked really, really good. There's so many other ones. Bulgaria, so the staging is so unique, so creative. I love it. So people really brought their A game, and this is one of the toughest years to predict. Not just the winner, but even just the qualifiers, especially semi one. So I am super, super um, uh, excited about what to see in the dress rehearsals. Now, of course, the toughest part now is I have to do predictions. Ugh, this is my least favorite part. This will be the most difficult ones. I know that in semi one I will get at least 4 correct because that's the bare minimum. I can get you know, 6 is the worst I can do get wrong, right? But it's oh gosh, we got to do that tomorrow. It's going to be horrible. Um, Hai Hong Ding is saying, how are the other United members? Fernando, David, Christian. Haven't seen them in a long time. Hope they're okay. Fernando is doing great. He's, of course, not here this year. Hopefully, he'll be back next year. We'll see. But he's still part of the team. Christian has taken a break at this point. Maybe he'll be back in the future. So we'll go from there. So they haven't been really been here this year because you know these last year 2 years have been so weird. Let's after this year, let's all just reevaluate how to go forward and what we're going to do because it's just everything has changed, right? And who knows how things will be next year? Are we going to only maybe we're going to have a permanent online press center and have less local representation? I don't know what's going to happen. We all just as clueless here. So one step at a time. Do you think this year is one of the strongest we've had? So many good songs, so many talented people, and musical diversity. It is going to be a bloodbath in the semis. I personally agree with you, Angie. I think it's a really good year. Very diverse and very determined bunch of countries and delegations. Yeah, lots. Everybody. I mean, that would probably apply to every year, but especially this year, everyone came to play, and that is fun. I'm always surprised when I see so many people say this is such a weak year. Granted, we hear that every single time, especially in the beginning, but then ultimately people just think it's a strong year. I find it a really good year. It is a fun year for me in terms of because usually I have like 1 or 2 songs that are super far ahead of the rest of the pack. Like these are my clear favorites. I don't have a clear favorite this year. They're all kind of like going back and forth there a little bit. You know, I never had to be like, okay, Canada is my number one or something like that. You know what I mean? So that makes it kind of fun to me. And but yeah, so that is what happened this year. The delegations all had to kind of get used to this new environment that we're in. You cannot just approach people and be like, "What's up?" You know, you have to go for all these tests and have masks and get people involved. Some people are more open to have like a more dialogue face to face, but we deliberately stayed away from any in-person interviews this year just for the reasons as you can imagine. We did Connor, who I did a fantastic job doing a lot of the online interviews, and they're on our channel at ES United here. So make sure to check them out. A little more water out of my wine glass. Thank you. So here, and that's basically what happened here. And it is tough for the delegations because they want to promote their acts and they really can't. And some of them are willing to come into the press center, others not so much. Who did I see? I mean, I saw Sinheed. I talked to Vasil from North Macedonia. He was very cautious. He was having a mask. I saw Benny Christ, of course, in his, of course, a hoverboard. There, I saw Angela from Albania. So several people were in there. And I saw Destiny. And it was just fun. It was just fun seeing them, even if it's more from a distance. As said, we could have approached them, asked them to be on camera more, but I deliberately stayed away from that for obvious reasons. Plus, I was busy anyway with such a small team. Um, but other than that, it was a very interesting week, and It was actually quite smooth considering. Let's put the COVID thing aside, just really talking about rehearsals. It usually you see like major like issues, delays, whatsoever. We didn't have a lot of all that. It seems for the most part working pretty good. And everything that didn't work, they fixed fairly quickly than the second rehearsal. Yes, of course, there are still things that need to get better in terms of camera work, but nothing like what I have seen in previous years. It's been pretty smooth sailing. So that speaks a lot to the organizers doing a pretty darn good job, especially with the current circumstances that we're in. So I will say this past week has been a success. I think the Dutch team, the EBU, can look back at this and say, well, considering what happened, we did okay. We did okay. And I would agree with that. And we're not talking about the carpet thing because that's a different story, but I'm just really talking about the week before. And I had a great time. I miss the socializing. Like I don't talk to many people, and I feel like people think maybe I'm antisocial because I'm sitting in my dark little corner just doing my thing. But I'm just trying to do the right thing, and it's not always the easiest or most fun option, but you got to do it. Any thoughts on why has Switzerland fell to the seventh place in the betting odds? Was this second rehearsal so bad? I liked it, ARM is saying. In terms of Switzerland dropping a little bit in the betting odds, I can't really tell you for sure, but I'm hearing that some people just didn't think that the staging is appropriate for the song, that it's too artsy. I personally don't agree with it because we didn't say that about Lorraine with Euphoria. That was pretty artsy, but we knew the staging from the get-go in Melodie Festivalen, while we didn't know the actual staging for Tout l'Univers when the video came out. So people have different mindsets going into this. They have a different staging in mind. Maybe they were thinking he's just going to perform on piano or something like that. So when your vision of a staging doesn't meet reality at that point, things kind of clash. And that's, I heard a lot of people say that, that just didn't think that the staging suits the song. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it works well. It's just a little bit unexpected. I still think it works. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Just wait for the actual results. What is your prediction about Poland? Is it last place or barely non-qualifier, Thomas? I don't think Poland will be last. I Poland will have at least some support, even if it's just friendly support, to prevent them from coming last. Um, I we're gonna do our prediction video tomorrow, and so I'm not 100% sure, but as of right now, I would lean towards non-qualifying. But I will watch the first dress rehearsal tomorrow, and then I will. Well, actually, that's the second one. Actually, so I will have to watch that one on Wednesday. Points still applies. I am going to get a better feel of the flow. Do you know what I mean? Oh, Sean is back in town. Hello, Matt. I've been watching on and off. Well, switch to on. I do miss the old hands like Christian and Fernando. Maybe next year some of the old crew can attend. Hopefully, I'm hoping so as well. Things just are a little different this time around, but thank you for your support, my friend. So Mika 532 is asking a good question. Which dress rehearsals will you cover? So that brings me to what's happening this week from Monday all the way through Saturday. So we have now the dress rehearsal stage and, of course, the live shows. So this is how it's going to work. Monday afternoon, I think at 2 or 3, I think it's 3 o'clock. We're going to have the first dress rehearsal tomorrow of the semi-final one participants, and that includes, of course, all performances, but also the whole show. That means we get the opening, the interval act, the hosts, the fake voting, so we get a whole idea of the entire run through. That will be Monday afternoon. So we will be live from the press center, live streaming, so you can get an idea, and we'll give you the rundown so you know everything that's going on. And then in the evening, very, very important, and the link to the live stream is already on our YouTube page, so make sure to be notified in case you forget. But we have the jury show, and as the name indicates, in the jury show, the juries will watch and vote. 50% of semifinal one results will be decided tomorrow evening. A very, very important show. Everyone will bring their A game and will make sure to really deliver. And while this is not available to broadcast to the public, we'll be in the press center. You get to be there with us. We'll report to you and give you everything that you need to know. The show starts at 9, but we'll start our live stream at 8, so we can have an hour to prepare, talk, chat, and just have a good old time. So we have 2 shows tomorrow. In the afternoon, dress rehearsal 1, and in the evening, the jury show, which is technically dress rehearsal 2. Then we have in Tuesday afternoon the family show. Also, I think at 3 o'clock, which is usually traditionally the show where people bring in often the volunteers can go in, the families of schools that come in and watch the show. And then in the evening, we have the actual live show. So we don't know yet if we. I don't think we need to do a live stream for the family show because it's the third time you would see it. How many times do we have a live stream on the same show? Unless there's a super duper a lot of interest, we will probably not live stream that one. But we will have a pre and post show for the actual live show on Tuesday. So we'll have about an hour before the semifinal one takes place to have like a conversation, final questions, and just get really excited. And as soon as the 10 qualifiers are announced, we will be back with our post show to talk about what happened during the show and get all upset about the results because there will be some surprises and disappointments regardless of the outcome. So that is basically what happens. This is what our plan is for the next few days. Then we'll do a rinse and repeat for the semifinal, that's 2, and of course the grand final. Have dress rehearsals ever made a difference? Gabe is asking. First of all, thank you so much for your super chat. Depends on your definition of difference. A difference in people gotten better. I've talked that before. People get more comfortable because they still can rehearse. It's still another rehearsal. People get more comfortable. Some have gotten worse as well. But especially right now, not everyone gives 100%. For the jury show, the second dress rehearsal, everyone gives 100%. More people get comfortable, and I bring always the same people up because this is the prime examples. Azerbaijan 2016 summer, a miracle comes to mind. Blanche, Belgium 2017 comes to mind. They were mostly not good during the rehearsals, right? But then when the dress rehearsal, like the actual live show came about, then they were good. So you can see slight improvements there. And yes, so that's what makes the difference for sure. People get more comfortable, and at least you get an idea of what else is happening on stage. We spent months and months planning for Eurovision, and the 2 weeks go by so quickly. This time next week, we will know the winner. I know, Carl. I feel the same way. I mean, imagine doing this all year long. Like you work towards this for so long, and then it's over in like a heartbeat. And then, everyone leaves me. Nobody talks to me for like 7 or 8 months. Nobody cares about Eurovision, and I still have to run a Eurovision channel in the meantime. So hopefully you'll stick around anyways, because we'll do Eurovision content throughout the year. And so stick around. But I hear what you're saying. Will you do live reactions to the semis and the grand final? Angel's asking. Yes, we do that every year, and we'll do it this time. People, for some reason, because I know it. Everyone at work says it. All my family says it. They just love watching me react to anything because I'm just a very animated person. I use my hands a lot. I do facial expressions. I'm the worst liar in the world. That's why I stopped lying. Not that I lied a lot before, but you get my point. It's I'm just not good at it. So I'm just an open book. So people seem to enjoy that. But I just get excited. But yeah, we'll do a live reaction. We spent months. Oh, we got that question already. Forgive me. So any other questions you have at ESC United in the chat? I keep you Tuesday as Tusse. Well, Tusse will be there on Tuesday, so hopefully qualifying for the grand final. I'm still debating who to put in my top 10, so you will find out that one in the near future. Demetrius is saying, "Hey Matt, nice to see you again. I strongly see Ukraine in the top 5. Is it something that you can see happening?" I said before, yes. Most definitely, I can see that happening with the televoters. I'm still a little hesitant, just a tad, when it comes to the juries. Maybe they can prove me wrong, but I'm worried that Ukraine's going to lose a few points with the juries that potentially may prevent them from entering the top 5. but that is just a hunch right now. That is just a hunch. Okay, Alex is asking, is it known if any of the people that gets on stage is positive for the delegations currently in quarantine or just other members? They confirmed that nobody that is on stage is positive. So none of the members of Iceland, the 6 members, none of them was diagnosed with COVID. It was a member of the delegation, not the actual artists. So that is good news. Same applies to Poland. So none of the artists have yet been tested positive. And that is why they're just undergoing another test, or they just took another PCR test, just like what Ukraine did a few days ago. And we will know within 24 hours, probably sometime tomorrow, either tomorrow morning or midday tomorrow, the outcome. So, and for the most part, things will then continue as planned. So just relax. I know we all get a little uptight and nervous about what could happen, but for the most part, we should be in the clear here because everyone's very careful. Everyone's been tested all the time. So it's unless you be around people who don't get tested all the time, you should be fine. So Jean-Claude Brodeur says, is there a country that, in your opinion, has the best staging? There are a few that come to mind, and I don't have the list in front of me right now. Let me take a look here. Italy has great staging. France has good staging. Iceland, oh, I love Iceland staging. Cyprus is good. Bulgaria, Switzerland. See, I'm counting them all. So this is a really bad question and an even worse answer. This is just a good year. This is a really good year for staging. Now, if you ask me some of the staging that I'm a little bit disappointed by, then I can maybe narrow it down a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Okay, Ari Blue Noir Shakman man is saying, you are the funniest YouTuber of all. Well, I don't know about that, but I really appreciate it. I'm not very funny in that sense that I'm the worst comedian. Like I have the worst comedic timing, and I cannot tell a joke to save my life. I think I would maybe be better at like improv. Do you know what I mean? Like just blur it all out. I'm just not really good scripted when it comes to humor. But that is just me. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, and I have mostly weaknesses. Enjoyed seeing you on ESC Extra's live stream, watching both of you guys. Keep up the good work. The bro code. Yeah, they're really nice guys over there as well. I'm sad they're not here. They're always also super friendly when they're here. So ESC Extra, got a soft spot for them. They're all nice. A lot of people think we're all like competitors and just like no, I'm all about let's be together. We all do this for the same reason. We love this stupid contest. So yeah. Do you think this year might have quite stark differences between the televote and the jury vote? Yes, there's a very clear yes. I expect a big disagreement between juries and televotes this year. Maybe there is one song that emerges as the song that will be loved by both groups, but for the most part, I just see a lot of disagreements because a lot of the songs that are really popular and high up in the betting odds, I feel like one group will bring it down, while there's like 1 or 2 songs where I can see appeal with both, and that's why I have them a little bit higher up in my potential winning numbers. Which country has made the best use of the change regarding recorded backing singers? I don't like the recorded backing singers, so I don't want to answer that question. No, I don't know. So when we listen to it the first run through, the sound is really low, and so the people in the online press center, they have a better idea. So it's really hard for me to say who had to. Probably Bulgaria comes to mind with that pretty like final versing with that. Oh, it's really pretty. It's really pretty. Slovenia comes to mind as well. Yeah. Oh. Scrolling so fast. So if I miss a question, please post it again at ESC United. Which Eurovision journalist do you think you could beat in a fight? All of them. Except Melanie. She's gonna kick my ass. But I don't know. If you're implying if I couldn't beat you, Sean, you better get ready because I'm ready to whoop your behind. It's like we're gonna have our own cage fight here. Yeah, so that's my answer. Everyone but Melanie. Holly could probably kick my ass too. So yeah. Um. So Hi Matt. Do you think Italy and France the same problem having musical genders that usually you mean genres that usually fail at the juries or the televote or French ballots and jury for the rock songs? Yes, that is exactly my fear. That this is going to happen. That Italy gets a lot of televote support, loses a little bit with the juries, and with France the opposite. Although with France, I do see the possibility of this having a little bit more of a surprise televote appeal down the Salvador route if it comes across the similar manner. So I feel confident about the juries. The televoters, I think I am cautiously optimistic, but I'm not certain for that. But I agree with that. And there are a lot of other songs that are in a similar situation, I think. I know that Cyprus doesn't have pre-recorded vocals; they are live. I'm not sure if all of them, because then there's only her and the backup singer, like I call them always the one who mirrors the voice. I'm not sure. Who do you think will have the biggest difference in the final between juries and televote? Like second or third with one of them, and 24th or 25th with the others? Heine's asking. Well, it's a very difficult question to answer because I don't know who's going to be in the finals. Um, but there are several candidates that could fall into that category. I could see potentially Norway doing a repeat this year. Sweden could be in a similar boat. La 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 la. Let me think. Yeah, those two come to mind immediately. I'm sure there are others, but I don't know yet because I don't even know if they're going to make it. Do you think 2021 is the strongest year in recent years? I will have to do a comparison. I do think it's stronger than the last year's canceled contest, but 2018 was so damn strong too. 2019 too, though. It's strong. We had like a strong 3 years, I want to say. 21, 19, and 18, I think were all 3 strong years. So, but yeah, nevertheless, it's still a good year. Oh, Melanie's still in the chat. I could definitely kick your ass. Basically, she's saying, "Yeah, you're probably right, but let's not try, okay?" I'm a very dainty flower. Do you think San Marino will get top 5? Gabe is asking. That is an uphill battle in my view, but it would be an uphill battle that I would welcome. I would love for that to happen. Absolutely. Oh, how cute would that be? Cute. Why did I say cute? I never say cute. Okay, that totally was out of character for me. But anyway, you get my point. I have a feeling that Iceland will win it in the end. So my team and I were arguing about whether or not Iceland is considered a dark horse. Maybe it's not completely a dark horse, but it's certainly a not a top candidate, right? Where are they in the odds? Are they like 6th or 7th? They're 4th already. Never mind. I guess yeah, they're definitely not a dark horse anymore. I could see it happening. Yes. Right now, everyone talking about Italy and France with potentially Malta. I could absolutely see Iceland snack that wig and just be like, haha. It is just something about it. I'm not certain yet, but I would not bid against them. Sean, my friend, if you could pick one country to return to Eurovision, who would it be? One. Can I pick 5? I think then in that case, I would probably, if I can only pick one, if I only can pick one, I will go with Turkey. Only because the fans are so eager for them to come back, and they bring so much awesomeness to the contest. So I would pick them, but I want Hungary back. I want Slovakia back. So I want Luxembourg back, actually. So yeah, but I had to pick one, so I'm picking Turkey. Turkey. So yeah, so that is just it's so weird. Probably the red. Is anyone watching the carpet thing on the side in here? I have not, obviously, but it seems just so awkward over there this time around to just be there. And kind of be like with masks and being so far away from each other. And I know it's a great moment for all the artists that all dress up and look nice. But yeah, I'm not regretting my decision. The more I think about, the happier I am with my decision to not go out there. Forgive me, I'm just have to respond here to something because my window closed by accident. So back to your original question, Sean. Of course, Turkey and Hungary in particular, there is this whole political issue, that we don't want to go into too much. But until that has been resolved, I don't think there will be back. But if I was the king of Europe or king of the world or whatever, and because Turkey, not really, you get my point. I would definitely demand for them to return first, at least in my weird logic. You made the Turkish fan happy with that. Well, it's true though, because um, when Turkey left, a little bit something else, we lost a little bit here at Eurovision. And yes, I'm also understanding there is this whole televote issue with Turkey, yada yada yada. I get that, but even besides that, just their music itself is just, ugh, it was just such a wonderful addition, and I feel weird about it. Yeah. So, any other questions you have at ES United in the chat? So, once again, we're gonna have plenty of live streams, at least 2 a day for the remainder of the week, and I will probably also have one on Sunday after the results. Although I have to move from my current place, I'm gonna go to. I'm gonna have a place in Amsterdam for one night by the airport, and then fly out Monday morning, first thing in the morning. So I have to get a test as well. Ugh, I don't even think about that right now. Can pyrotech be added for dress rehearsal if not in other rehearsals? Thinking of the UK. No, if they haven't done it yet, you can no longer add it really. And the UK already said that they will not add pyro. This is not part of the plan. Apparently, even they mentioned that those trumpets, inflatable, they're super, like they can catch fire super easily. Whatever material they're made of, any kind of spark sets them on fire. So they cannot have fires, apparently. I guess they should have just brought smaller trumpets, I guess. But that was the decision that they went with. Do you think Sweden could be a non-qualifier this year, Eurovision, Tim? When you look at the odds, when you look at the reactions of press, when you look at some of the fans' reaction, you would think that Sweden might be in danger, right? And that was going through my mind as well. Could this be the year where Sweden, for the first time in 11 years, and only the second time in the history of the contest, fails to qualify from the semis? If there is a year where this could happen, 2021 would be a potential outcome. I, at this point, though, still have them as a qualifier. I still think that the juries will like this very polished and song enough for it to give enough points to get through. Because it's not a bad song or anything, it's just a little, predictable. But there is even less enthusiasm for Sweden than in previous years. The running order doesn't help, and the fact that they're in such a tough semi could really work against them. But at this point, I am unwilling or not willing, not ready to call them a non-qualifier. But I hear what you're saying. Oh man, this is tough, right? How often do you tidy up your room? Well, in real life, every day. In Eurovision live, from like Sunday through Thursday, I just came home and threw my clothes anywhere I could. So I cleaned up yesterday and I cleaned up a little today, but I still have like my jackets flying here and there's a shirt over there. It's not gross. It's not like but it's just I like usually things in place. Like this belongs here, this belongs there, and right now I'm just kind of more like stuff everywhere. um, so is there going to be a flow rider or no rider? I'm still not sure about that. Oh, I am 90% sure that there's going to be a flow rider. There would be no, they are trolling us too hard, San Marino, with all the pictures of him and the question marks. Not, they wouldn't go for all that hassle and then be like, "Oh, you're just kidding. He's not coming. He's going to be there in Rotterdam." And this is also one of the few times where I'm okay with a big name because they're actually taking part in the competition and not just serve as an inavalag that has zero relationship to the contest or to the country. Do you know what I mean? So I expect that one to be there. I've recently saw last Saturday night here the show of 1976 where Sweden wasn't represented. Um, yeah, there were a few years they've missed. I'm sure there were other years in between. I mean, Sweden joined in, was it late 50s, right? Was it early 60s? Late 50s, 1959. They've missed a few contests, I think, but I mean, in this day and age, you could not even imagine not as a year contest without Sweden. It's like a contest without Turkey, uh, right? It feels wrong. It feels not right. So, yes. Let's see some other more questions. What do you think would be the perfect voting system? That's a tricky question. I still think in a perfect world, in utopian kind of setup, 100% televote would be the perfect case vote. But our televote is too flawed in this day and age, so I understand why we need to have the juries, and I want the juries at this point. Until we figure out a way to make the televote a little bit less, not biased, it's the right word, but certainly, friendly towards certain nations, then maybe we can return to it. How that's going to get done, I don't know. Like do a Melfest app kind of situation. I don't know how that would work. I don't have the answer for it. I can only complain about what's wrong. But on paper, I want to have 100% televote. But in the real world that we live in right now, that's just not possible. What is your favorite ESC country ever? No cheat, just one country. Haha. Well, I will cheat anyway. What are you going to do? Kick me out? Listen, I can't do that. I don't have a favorite Eurovision country of all time. I can maybe do it by decade, saying this particular decade, that was my favorite country, because Italy of the 2010s is very different than the Italy of the 1980s. Do you know what I mean? And I'm a big fan of the older years as well. I love going all the way back to the beginning of the contest. And I cannot compare that because UK at some point was one of the most powerful countries for a reason, because their music was flipping awesome. Yes, they kind of fell off the wagon a little bit, but still, if you look at the history, still one of the best countries ever. So I can't do it. I know. I'm cheating. Oh well. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Let's see here. If you have any other questions at ESC9, I know I'm just here kind of chilling with my water in the wine glass, theme of the day, and just not being at the carpet. But it's nice. It's nice, I guess, once, because the next few days will be just boom, 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 boom. No free time. Let's scroll down here. I just can see Sweden as a non-qualifier. Sandy is saying, I would agree. But I don't know. I don't know. If it was any other country, I'd be like, that's probably not going to make it. But it's flipping Sweden. It is Sweden. Oh man! And tomorrow after the actual show, the first dress rehearsal, my team and I, we all have to pick our 10 qualifiers, and then it's the moment of truth, I guess. It is so prank because people always like, whoa, you got only 7 right. I'm like, I know very little. There's certain factors that you cannot take into consideration. Sometimes we're talking about 1 point. Just because you got it right, one country that made it through the finals by 1 point doesn't mean you're superior in predicting the outcome. It is just very, very hard. Do you consider Ireland and Belgium as shock qualifiers, ESC and LSA? I wouldn't consider either, to me, a shock qualifier. Are they considered maybe shock qualifiers because of the betting odds? Sure. But both of them are, in my view, strong candidates for a top 10. So I would not be surprised at all. And as a matter of fact, there's a good chance, again, I haven't done my lineup yet, but there's a good chance that they are actually going to qualify, in my view. They may be in my prediction. So yeah. And the thing is, we've seen the whole thing here, the whole run through the 3 minutes, and it's a little bit maybe a different view that we have. So I cannot wait for you to see that whole thing. Daniel is asking, did you actually get to see Rotterdam this week? Short answer, no. And I knew that coming here that this will not be a vacay where I can just go sightseeing. I did the first night I stayed at the Citizen M in Rotterdam, and I tried to go to the market hall, but there were too many people in there, so I immediately escaped. And I walked around a little bit here in the neighborhood, but I haven't seen a whole lot. To be fair, I have been to Rotterdam before. I've been to the port. I've seen a lot of places already. So it's not like it's a completely new city to me. But for this time around, I haven't seen much. I've seen my apartment, ta-da. I've seen Ahoy. I've seen the bus. So, but I knew coming into that, and I'm a little bummed out. I probably would have been more willing to go out if I hope not too many Dutch people in here right now, but if I don't know how to say this. All right, I'm just going to say it. I have observed that a lot of the Dutch people here don't take proper precautions often to prevent spreading of the virus. I go into the supermarket, the employees, the customers, they don't have any masks or they're just hanging them from the chin. I'm like, that's not how it works. And it kind of forces me like, well, since you cannot be active in the prevention process, I kind of have to stay away from you. So that kind of sucks. So yeah, so I haven't really seen a whole lot, which sucks. But I gotta do what I gotta do to stay healthy, right? Health comes first, which is why I'm not at the carpet right now, and I'm sitting here in my living room with my water in a wine glass. Cheers. So, what other questions we have here just for a minute? In your opinion, what is the chance of Portugal qualifying? Well, this one I will. No, wait, in semi two. No, not tomorrow. Semi two. As of right now, I have Portugal as the potential qualifier, either borderline qualifier, borderline non-qualifier. So I will have to do my ranking, but before I feel much more confident in the chances of going through since I've seen their rehearsal. So that is a very, very good sign. So yeah. Sunny is saying the government is starting to let go of a lot of rules, so that makes people think that they can do whatever they want. I think that's what it is, right? It just seems always very surprising to me. I mean, I'm from the US and I'm not claiming that they're really good at it. But in California, they've been fairly strict and they've done a really good job. I mean, our numbers are very far down in terms of new infections. So, and people had to wear masks. And if you didn't wear a mask in the store, shoot, out. And it was very strict, and I'm surprised about that. They did a really good job. And so I'm used to kind of having a very strict environment when it comes to COVID. This very relaxed approach is a little surprising, a little bit catches me off guard, but it's just what it is. Which country could be like Greece 2019? A huge favorite, but in the vote, not that appreciated. Let me take a look. Some people are screaming Malta, but I don't see that happening. Greece? No, I'm kidding. Greece going to do well this year. I don't know. I'm worried it could be San Marino. I'm really nervous about San Marino. I don't know why. Maybe I shouldn't be, but I am. So since you made me pick one, I'll pick San Marino. Not because I don't want it to happen, because I do. I mean, I want San Marino to do well. Let me say it this way, but you never know. I'm just really, really worried. Um, Fabio is saying the problem is not the government start opening things. The problem is that people start to not take care and not be careful. Yeah, I know. And it's not really enforced here, right? When you see in my place, it was a little bit more enforced, the rules of COVID. So yeah. Why do you think Hungary will not return to the contest? It's political. It's the government, the current political situation in Hungary, unfortunately, is not necessarily most ideal towards a more harmonizing Europe rah-rah thing. So they just doing something different right now. Hopefully that'll change in the near future. I will not go into too many details because that's boring right now. Moldova has been going down in the odds like crazy because you've seen the full performance. Do you think it's justified? Yes, Joao. And this is someone who was like, I know that Moldova brings a game. When I heard this song, like they wrote this song with the staging in mind already, because they have these very long instrumental pieces, parts, right? But I'm like, well, there's lots of empty space in the song. I'm like, oh, they're going to have some crazy staging. It's going to look so good. And then they walked on stage, and I saw the whole 3 minutes, and I'm like, that's it. You are on a platform that spins in a very like 80s grid look in the back, and it turns into a cube. So you're just a big cube. That's it. It spins a little. You have your dancers from the video, and that's it. And the song itself asked for a lot more elaborate staging. So I was one of the ones immediately, actually, our entire team agreed that Moldova may have shot themselves in the foot with that staging because it does not elevate the song. Sometimes you have stagings that elevate a song. Some people just keep it the way it is, and sometimes it kind of brings it down. I will go as far as saying the staging brings down the song, unfortunately. And I hope Philip Kirkorov is not watching this live stream, going to get mad at me, but it is just a reality because I thought there's going to be another amazing visual feast, and that just did not happen. And I don't know if it just didn't come together or they just gave up, and it just comes across as disingenuine. And Natalia, I'm sure she's a very sweet woman, and I wish her nothing but the best. But she seems more of a trained artist in terms of like pageant smile with no emotion. It's like even she dances along tonight. Like who dances like that? You have like some faces, and that is probably a big issue there. But yeah, so it just doesn't feel right when you watch it. Do you have something planned for us for the Eurovision depression period? Julie, of course I have. I have stuff already planned out for the rest of the, well, not planned out completely, but I have already several things serious and videos planned for the remainder of the year. So don't you worry, I've got you covered. And as soon as the results are in, you know me, I'm a numbers nerd. I will delve right into it. I look at the numbers, I look at the data, and we'll share with you my analysis and all that stuff. And from there on, we look back to the 2021 contest, but the day after, actually, as soon as the winner is announced this year, that's when our 2022 preparations will begin. So don't think you'll be bored. You'll be bored. Last year was a little different because, of COVID. I had personal hardships that required my attention, but now that we're out of it, what I shouldn't say out of it. That is not true. Scratch that. We're approaching, at least in my part of the world, the end of a tunnel there. I can finally get back to a little bit more of a normal life and actually get stuff done. That's what I was trying to say, because we're certainly not out of it yet. Do you think Switzerland is completely chanceless after the rehearsals? I can't bet, but if you could, the current odds for a Swiss win would look really tempting to me. Well, don't use my advice on putting money down. I am, no, don't use my personal observation on that. Here's the thing. I find it a little silly that Switzerland is dropping in the betting odds right now based on the performance, just because people cannot envision this new staging. He sounded amazing, and I think it looks amazing. I like it better because of the staging, actually. I personally never really envisioned Switzerland as a winner in the first place. I just don't get winner vibes from the song. I don't. And that's probably why I wasn't even really on my radar to win it all. But again, that is one subjective opinion. Jim W is asking, leaving aside props, which a delegation brings is what is shown on the LED while suggesting by the delegation or the host. In Moldova's case, they could have used a lot of the video graphics. It's decided by the delegations. There are certain things that they can't use, but for the most part, the delegations approach the team in charge and they're like, we want to do this. And they either say sure or they say no. But for the most part, there are a lot of things that they can do, and freedom of creativity there for sure. So it was Moldova's decision to come up with that staging, nobody else. Do you think we'll have a normal Eurovision 2022? I would love to go again. I was there in Kiev. I was there too, Daniel. I My crystal ball doesn't always work, but if we apply common sense and logic, I would say I think in a year from now we'll be a lot more in a more normal kind of state. I mean, I know Europe in particular is still a little bit behind when it comes to vaccinations compared to the United States where I'm from, but that'll pick up, especially by the end of the year, by the end of the fall, I would even say. I think most people will probably have the opportunity to get vaccinated. And so I do think come next May, it'll be a little bit more different. And I think we'll be back to a fairly normal Eurovision. Yes. Um, it would be so nice to see you in Malta if we went. Oh, Walter, are you kidding me? Yes, I'd love for Malta to win. Keep saying it. I want countries to win. I want to visit badly. Malta is high up on the list. Iceland is high up on the list. Croatia is high up on that list. Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia, all of these countries I want to go so badly to. So, yeah, make it work. Just win this thing and I'll be there. Um, Although I was going to go this year anyway to Malta on a cruise, but I'm not going to do a cruise line until next year. So that's kind of out of the not an option, to say the least. So that okay, are you gonna do a video about the Eurovision live on tape live stream or not? You know what, Baco? That is a good question. I haven't thought about that. You know what? I will do that. Yeah, we totally gonna do that. Yeah, that's a good idea. They're gonna have it over 2 days, right? So maybe have to do it before or probably after. Let's do it after. Oh yeah, I got it. Oh, I'm excited now. Thank you for that good idea. Hmm. Maybe you already talked about this, but are they going to use live on tape or second rehearsal performances if countries can't be there? So I haven't talked about it today yet, but if let's say worst comes to worst and Iceland cannot perform next Thursday because COVID, whatever, they now have the ability to choose between the live on tape performance that they've done in Iceland or use the third run through from the second rehearsal a few days ago. So that is the option. They can look at it and say, you know what, we like this performance better, so we'll choose that. So it's up to them. I think most acts would prefer the actual performance here in the arena, unless you really butchered it. And so my guess is they would go with that one, but technically they can still choose the other one. So it's up to each country broadcaster delegation. So yeah, with all the respects I have towards all the artists this year, I think next Eurovision year will be so refreshing with a new host and 100% of new artists. Yeah, it was. I mean, it is. I'm glad that so many artists came back, and I wanted all of them to return. But it's always refreshing to get like a new batch of people. I get that, but I still feel kind of like they are new because it's we never got to see them on the Eurovision stage. But I want to go back to more of a normalcy as well, a normal Eurovision, ordinary, boring stuff. So I hear what you're saying. Do anyone know, will Poland and Iceland perform at the Semi 2 live yet? Most likely, yes. We're waiting for the results of the COVID tests. As long as they're all negative, they'll perform. So this is all just done under precaution. So it's going to be okay, most likely. So yeah, Sue Wilson is saying, "Thank you, Matt, for your wonderful work in keeping us all up to date. You are very much appreciated, and that comment is even more appreciated. Thank you very much." Can you notice a lot of pre-recorded vocals in the performances, and do you agree with it? Yes and no. So you can notice them a lot. Most countries have pre-recorded vocals, or a lot of them at least. So yes, you can notice it. And do you agree with it? No. Okay, ish. No. So I would say, in general terms, no. I understand it for this year only. At the same time, I'm still peeved with a lot because there were so many delegations. So the reason why we have those pre-recorded vocals allegedly is so that you don't have to bring as many people with you to Rotterdam and potentially increase the risk of spreading the virus, right? I'm like, great. So for this 1 year only, you're allowed to have backtrack for the backup, so great. For that 1 year, I understand that. However, there were so many delegations who still brought 4 dancers. So I'm like, then why do you shouldn't have been allowed to do that. That what bothers me. Okay, you have 4 dancers and then you have 1 singer and then you still, then why did we get rid of the whole backup vocal stuff? That is what bothers me a lot. So, but I don't like the idea of having that. And I'm worried that this is going to be a permanent thing because it really turns into a, and I know I sound like an old fart when I say that, but I do agree. It sounds more like a karaoke version of a competition at this point. And I don't like that. I understand why we can't have orchestras. I get that. I get that in the year 2021. I get that. Although I would love to have it as an option, but I get it why they can't have that. But now having potentially also just backup tracks, like vocals, doesn't sit right with me. And I'm very, very nervous about what will happen next year. Very nervous. They're going to be like, I'm worried that EBU will be saying, this worked well, and we really want to keep it that way. And not everyone may be upset about it, but I am. I would be very upset about that. So, has any country changed your mind after rehearsals and now you think they can do better than you thought before? Oh, yeah, there's several. There are several, actually. My personal opinion of the song itself doesn't change. I know I don't really change my mind a whole lot on whether or not I like a song. Either I like it or I don't, or in between, of course. But there are songs where I can objectively look at and say, you know what? This really added so much to staging. They could do really, really well. Some come to mind. Portugal, beautiful staging. It is so effective, and they may qualify because of that. Italy wasn't really my cup of tea, but the staging, especially in the second round of rehearsals, was fantastic. It's like, wow. So I can absolutely see them doing well. Ukraine comes to mind. There are others. Really, really good staging. Ireland. So yes, the list goes on and on. Lots of countries that really improved their odds, in my view, based on their staging, or at least became a contender to qualify. Doesn't mean they're going to. Doesn't mean they are safe, but the odds have increased. Do you think that the strategy of Belgium this last few years to send more alternative music to Eurovision is the right one? I personally do, but what is wrong, what is right? I mean, I like that they're going with something less safe. And it sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. It often they're not quite as good when it comes to packaging the performance, but I do like their music. So by all means, Belgium, keep doing what you're doing. I like your music. So I feel like you're finally putting forward some really interesting songs, and it doesn't always work, but quality over quantity? I don't know. Um, do you think that the strategy of oh no, this was already, sorry. You mentioned orchestras. How about the music? Would you prefer to allow musicians to play live on stage? Angela, I would, but I understand why that's not possible either. Just try setting that up is a bitch. Um, they have what, 40 seconds to set this up, so any kind of sound check with any of that sort is impossible. So while I would love the idea, we would have to have more time between songs to set this up. So I understand why this logistically is just not a possibility. But in like a perfect world, yeah, maybe we need 2 stages. Now there's an idea. Are you listening, EBU? Maybe, or whoever's hosting next year, have 2 stages, one on each side of the arena. So then the other act can get ready on the other one. Okay, I'm just being silly. I know that doesn't happen. How do you choose which country hosts the following year if there is a tied winner? I had a dream there was a 3-way tie this year. Green Oscar, we will never have ties again at Eurovision. So even if point tied, let's say France and Italy tie for first place. I think at this point, whoever receives more points from the televote then will win. If they still are tied that both receive 200 points, let's say, then they will go down the route of how many countries voted for the song. Do you know what I mean? So, and if that were to happen, if they tie there, then they will go down how many 12 pointers each country received. And then if that still ties, then how many 10 pointers? So it is virtually impossible. If you tell me about if they get exact 10 points, the exact amount of votes, and everyone gets the exact, then we may have a tie. But even then, I think then the country who's first in the running order will win. So we will never have a complete tie at the top. We will always have a winner. So you never have to worry about that. And then whoever wins gets to host. That is just how it's going to work. There was a tie in 1999 between Sweden and France. Yeah, but Sweden still won. Even there was a tie, Sweden still won. The rules were a little different than in 1991. They only went by how many 12 pointers each country had. Both Sweden and France had the same amount of 12 pointers, but Sweden then ultimately had more 10 pointers. And therefore, they won the contest and hosted the Eurovision the following year. And something similar would happen this year. Do you see any countries debuting next year? Well, who do we have? We have a potential Liechtenstein. We do have a potential Kazakhstan. And then maybe any of the North African countries. I don't expect any of them to return anytime soon. Certainly not right now. I think it's more likely for Kazakhstan to. So if, I don't know yet, but Kazakhstan would actually probably more likely than Liechtenstein just because of the whole broadcaster situation. Andorra said, some mentioned Andorra. Andorra is not debuting. Andorra took part before. They took part from 2006 to 2000. No, wait, not 2006, 2004 to 2009. And so they're not a newbie. They're just a returning. So that does not count. Liechtenstein has never taken part. Kazakhstan has never taken part in the adult version. So that is a different story. In terms of returning countries, I don't see Turkey returning at this point. I don't see Slovakia. Andorra was the one that has been almost like not confirmed yet, but certainly talked about lots. So Andorra has a good chance of coming back if we believe all the information that are out there. Other than that, Montenegro maybe. Hungary maybe. So yeah, those are my guesses. Stefan is saying Lebanon, Syria are eligible too, I think. I don't know if Syria is eligible. I don't even know. Are they in the broadcasting? Lebanon, yes. Lebanon, Egypt, Tunisia, all of them are, but they're not going to take part at this point. Certainly not with the current political climate. I don't think that's going to happen. But technically they could. Morocco took part like 40 years ago, but technically also not a debutante, I guess. Barbara Dex award winner. Jet Helena's asking. Anyone can think of one? Once again, I need to. There was no one standing out to me where I was like, "Ew," you know what I mean? Nobody looked bad to me. I mean, people can make a case for Iceland because of the silly sweaters, but it's part of the image. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't pick them either because it goes along. It's intended. It was deliberate. People can make a case for Russia with that, the dress mobile. Can that be considered a dress though? Because it's not really a dress. I keep going down the list. Some people may say no because of the angel thing. That would be another one, I guess. I'm still checking. Yeah, other than that, I don't see anyone. Maybe Germany because of the colorful outfits, but no, it's also just deliberate. It works with the staging. So, I don't know. I think nobody really missed the mark completely here, but let me know if what you saw, if you have someone in mind, at ESC United. Tatiana is saying, Melanie was in the arena doing rehearsals. What was Boris doing? We don't get enough Boris. Boris was writing articles and he was in the press conferences a lot. So Melanie was in the arena, Boris was writing articles and was in charge of the press conferences. So he was running back and forth as well. So they were both busy bees. He was in the videos. Both of them were in the videos in the evening, our recaps. And there will be more also than this week, since we have a lot more less arena stuff and more press center stuff. No more press conferences. I mean, not as many. We will have, of course, after the live shows, we have those, but we don't have to worry about everything else, which is nice. So you'll see them plenty. Don't worry, especially Boris. I think we should give a Barbara Dex for Croatia 2016 again, because one wasn't enough. Terrible. Terrible. Boo. Funny, but terrible. Have you tried any local Dutch treats or foods? Yes. So, I mean, I love my little Dutch treats. Of course, again, stroopwafels. But in the arena, I get like kaas souffle. I had croquettes. I've had those delicious Dutch fries, French fries with the delicious mayonnaise. I had the frikadelle. And one thing that everyone tells me to try, but I'm hesitant, are these. I forgot the name of it. It's like that salty licorice. What, tropias or something like that. I don't really care for licorice, and salty licorice doesn't sound appealing to me, so I've been kind of not avoiding it. So yeah. What wine are you having today? Literally transparent wine, aka water. I think I said it on the live stream before, but I don't really drink alcohol. Not for any particular reason, except for I don't like it. I like the taste of alcohol. So and the feeling of being drunk anyway. So I don't drink really. I have, like, on a special occasion, like a glass of sparkling wine or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like I'm opposed of the idea of having alcohol, but I just don't care for the taste. So I just don't drink it. Let's see here, Matt. Do you know why so many singers were not able to attend the Turquoise Carpet, Borkika? So you missed a good conversation at the beginning. Well, we're still happy to have you. So I'm just going to give the quick rundown. One member of the Icelandic delegation, one member of the Polish delegation were tested positive for COVID. So everyone on that team now has to get tested. Therefore, out of a precaution, were unable to attend the turquoise carpet. But Malta and Romania stayed at the same hotel as Iceland and Poland. Therefore, they're all under like lockdown. They all just have to get through the testing first. And then once that is done, they can resume their regular schedule. So no need to panic. It's just of an abundance of, just being very, very careful. And I'd rather them to be overly careful than not careful enough. So we should applaud them for doing that rather than scolding them for it. But that is the reason. So not to freak out too much. Roy is saying, yeah, it's called drop or drop. Yeah. So I was close. To be honest, but maybe an unpopular opinion, you can do without them. Stick with the stroopwafels. Well, I love my stroopwafels. Yeah, I don't know. I'm, again, licorice. I'm always kind of like, eh. Oh, by the way, now that I have your attention, those who are on Twitch, we are actually right now streaming on Twitch, and I forgot to bring it up, so I'm not sure if anyone is in the Twitch room. I'm just not used to it. People ask for it in the chat before, like, are you on Twitch? And the answer is yes. We are now as of today, and not many follow us yet. But if that's where you want to follow us, by all means, go ahead and join us there. I just forgot to mention that. I put it on social media. And if you would follow us on social media, you would know all of that. On Twitter, at least, ESC United, Instagram, ESC United, and of course, Facebook. Guess what? ESC United. So yes, but just wanted to throw that out there real quick. And actually, my team and I were talking about maybe even during the off season, because I think everyone on my team, Melanie, Roy, James, myself, we're all gamers. So maybe we can even play some ESC United Twitch games, that would be so much fun. So yeah, but I just want to throw it out there. Matt, have people been using masks obediently? For the most part, only because you have to. Now, keep in mind, when you say people, you mean like in the press center? Yes, we have to. We cannot walk around without it. Some people took them off for like a minute for pictures, which I don't agree with. But for the most part, people were pretty followed the rules. Kind of they had to, because we have volunteers marching around, making sure that everyone is following protocol. That one time, apparently, my team, we were slightly too close because we're doing a video, and I make sure that Melanie's on her desk, I'm at my desk, and Boris is like 6 feet behind me, 2 meters, So when we do a camera, that we're all in there, but apparently we were just a tad too close, so that they came like, you can't do that, and I'm like, all right, move back, Boris, even though I thought we were way beyond the 1.5 meters. But anyway, the point is, yes, most people, and you have to. What will they do with Australian couch in green room? Will they put one screen there and put Montaigne in front of the camera the whole night? How is she going to celebrate if she qualifies? Well, I'm going to take that couch that night. I can just sleep on it and just relax. No, actually, I don't know what they're going to do with it. Probably just put like a couple, just like a picture of her there. In terms of how you're going to celebrate, there's going to be a monitor. She's going to be on camera, and if she qualifies, they're just going to put it on her face, and she's going to be like, "Yay!" So they'll work it out. There's still a possibility that others won't be there. Hopefully not. Knock on wood. But yeah. So I think that's how they're going to do it. Oh, and we have a super chat. Thank you so much, Mr. Depao. Thank you for your support of Ireland this year. I don't think we will qualify, as we rarely do now. Love your work. Thank you so much. Don't give up hope just yet. I believe in Ireland. I believe in Leslie. I believe in the team. I believe in the effort that they put forward. So it's not over until the fat lady sings. We need to change that saying. I keep saying it because it's kind of rude. No, thinking about it, but it's such a common expression. You get my point. What about OnlyFans? Is that a joke again from my last comment from yesterday or the day before, that I just found out like 3 months ago what OnlyFans was, and I thought it was Patreon? So I'm like, sure, let's do it. I will not do that kind of OnlyFans. Do you think we will have any 0 points from either juries or televotes? I love how you all think that I have some crystal ball here who can figure it out. Maybe. I mean, the odds are you get 0 points from one group. I mean, Germany got it from the televoters last year, Israel from the juries. Previous years, I'm sure we had it as well. It happens. It will happen. I don't think that there is, the only way though I can see complete 0 points is from a big five or a host, and I don't think any of them is weak enough to get 0 points. I think they all have redeeming qualities and appeal to a certain group. I think Germany will get a little bit more votes from the televote. I think Spain getting some points from the juries. But from one group, oh man. I have to think about that one. I'll have to get back to you. I don't know. Sean. Every time I see Sean's name in a question, I'm really scared. So I haven't read it yet, but I will. But Sean, if it's a embarrassing or silly question, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? I knew it's going to be a stupid question. I will fight one horse-sized duck. I just bring a knife. It's easy to kill. You just have to be a little bit more like, okay, I watch it. You can watch one big duck. But if you have 100 ducks, yeah, that's impossible. No. I'll go for the big one and just hit it at the right time. Living in Florida, I've learned how to defend myself against an alligator. So I think I can take on a horse-sized duck. I think I'd be okay. Thanks for the very educational question, though, Sean. I'll talk to you later. What was your cheapest Eurovision to attend? Uh, it's a tie, I would say, between Kiev and Lisbon. Kiev was probably technically cheaper overall, but I spent a little bit more money on a better hotel. So while in Portugal, I spent less on an apartment. So ultimately, I spent about the same amount. But if you don't take the room into consideration, I would say Kiev. But Portugal is not far behind Lisbon. But yeah, Kiev. I mean, I remember, Sean, you're in the chat. You remember us taking an Uber from the arena, from the press center to the Euro Club. It was like, what, €3 or something like that? I don't know. It was super cheap. And we're like, my treat, I'm paying today. So that was good times. Do you think casual audience care about stagings as much as we do, Eurovision Gal? Subconsciously. I don't think they're going to analyze them in the same way that we are, but there's the reason why you have professionals. Do you think the professionals would go for all that hassle and work if they didn't know it has some effect? Yes, they're not going to look at it and be like, okay, this camera angle, what's off, and all of that stuff. But those little things that can make a difference, yes. I use the example of Greece, Stephania's, the boots that she's wearing, they look like silver and greenish in some of the videos, and they can be a little distracting and take you out of the moment. While you may say, well, it's not that big of a deal, but it can get people like, what's wrong with her shoes? That kind of stuff. Those little things can often be just a little decided to be like taken out of the moment. So while they're not actively judging each and every little camera shot or effect, it adds to the experience. And there's the reason why a song like The Common Linnets went up in the betting odds so much after the rehearsal, because it really brought the song to a new level. And that is basically what they're talking about. Yeah, Sean is saying, I got so many Ubers across the city. It was amazing. And they gave us actually in Kiev also free public transportation. I used it. Oops. Am I still here? Am I still here? Hello, hello, hello. Hello again. Can you see me? And I'm making up a song. I'll just keep singing until I return. And if I don't return, I'm just singing to myself. La 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 la. Oh, I guess I am back after all. Okay. So I just entertained myself here for a little bit. So my apologies. So I don't know what happened here. I think it's just my really sucky internet at my apartment. Um, no, it was not the Greek delegation. Leave them alone. They were so nice to me in the end. Like really, really, really nice people. don't, don't, don't make that. We were talking. The last thing I remember I was talking about was Tonika, and I gave such a wonderful, elegant answer, and then I lost you. But I basically just said, I understand. I'm not going to go through the whole thing again. I don't know how much you've heard, but I just said if he wants to wear a mask, let him wear a mask. He wants to be extra careful. There's press on the side, and I'd rather him to be careful than not because he wants to be safe and healthy for his performance. So I applaud him for that. Okay. Dean BL is asking, Matt, why do you hate Greece? I hate you right now. No, I don't hate you. But thanks for pushing my buttons. I don't know why I'm doing this. Just getting made fun of. It's a meme now, but we get it. Let's see here. So yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit. I'm so glad you all stuck around for so long. I didn't even think we're going to talk for this long, but let's answer a few more questions because I got to get some rest for tomorrow. I got to prepare some videos. I just promised that I would do some kind of rando live stream that is just very cash. Do you think that this last few years, Big Five, were not really trying to win and that it suddenly changed this year? No, I don't think they weren't trying to win. I just don't think they just struggle to figure out Eurovision. Let's put Italy aside because they've been doing really well. But talking about Spain, Germany, UK, and even France to a certain extent, they're just struggling figuring out Eurovision. And that's just what it is. Other countries are doing a better job at that. Whether it's overconfidence or just, I don't know what it is. I don't get it. Other countries, it snaps and they figure it out. Look at Bulgaria. Look at the Netherlands. Look at Austria for a while. You know what I mean? So yes, it can absolutely happen. So it's just, I don't think they're not trying. It's just they're having problems figuring it out. And Spain and UK in particular struggle. I mean, Germany, I keep saying it. Germany is like suck, 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 suck. We're awesome, and then we suck, 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 and we're awesome, and suck, 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 suck. It's like they have these really like random moments where just like being really awesome, and then they suck again. Spain hasn't. When was Spain hardly ever makes it out of the bottom five? It seems anymore at this point. The UK's best result 2017, and like, oh gosh, the last time they were in the top 10 was in 2009. That's a long time. And that's what you like Germany, at least in that 2010, 11, 12, and 18, they had 4 top 10s over the last 10 years. So if you think about it, it's actually not that bad. Yes, they also had a couple of last places and second last places, but at least had some good results. Spain had snuck into the top 10 twice in 2012, in 2014, but barely 10th place, so not that great. And France, one good result in 2016. That's not that great. So yeah, the UK had the longest drought, I guess, right? Man. France improved a lot since 2016, Julian says. That is true, at least, but we're talking about no longer being a bottom 5 country, right? 2016 was good. Then in 2017, it was like what? 13th place. 2018, 13th place. And what was 19? Like 15th place, something like that? I don't remember exactly. But it's like midfield, right? So it's certainly better. But, it's certainly not like something to brag about. But I guess for them it is. Although this year, we're not talking about this year, right? Because that's going to be quite different. That's going to be quite different. Eco is asking, I'm way too invested in the Greek drama, but how was it on TV? I couldn't find the video of you on the TV except you talking about the COVID rules. That's exactly what it is. That's all I talked about. They didn't show the stuff I talked about when it comes to the Greek rehearsal. They didn't show that, which I was kind of disappointed by. But I know how it works, editing, cutting stuff. I'm like, fine, you don't want my opinion? But it's fine. That's maybe it's in a different video or they just didn't have time. But yeah, that's the only clip they've had. But hey, at least I was on Greek TV. Oppa. So just as a reminder, tomorrow we will be in the press center and Roy will be joining me online. And I don't know if Sean will be there. I'm not sure, Sean, if he'll be up to it tomorrow because he's still recovering a little bit. But if not, he'll be there soon. I know you're all asking for him, and I'm not jealous at all that you like him better than me. But that's okay. Connor, you're not supposed to do that. Happy day off, Matt. Give Shauna a round of applause, everyone in the chat, for doing a phenomenal job with those interviews. Got lots and lots of good feedback on it. And I really like that setup, actually. It's this whole, running into the booth here, talking to them for 2 minutes, and then just get kicked out. It's just not fun. So I'm glad that we were able to do that. So yes, salty to you, Sean. So yes, that is what we've been doing. So again, back to my original point. Monday tomorrow. I'm so smart. I know it's Monday tomorrow, but the first dress rehearsal of semifinal one will start at 3 p.m. and we will be live about 30 minutes before that, 2:30-ish, and get the ball going. I'll be there, Roy will be there, and some, I don't know who else will be there, but it'll be fun. You get to see the first thing, and then in the evening, starting at 8, well, the jury show starts at 9 p.m. We will be live starting 8 p.m. because we are troopers. We like to start early, and I hope to see you there as well. You mean Connor, not Sean, Matt? I don't even know what I said. Connor, Sean, Roy, Melanie, Boris. One of them. You pick your favorite. I love you all. So it's my fault. It's your fault that you both talk at the same time here, Sean and Connor. Oh man. Oh man. What am I going to do with you guys? Anyway, I think I'm going to head out, but this was fun. We should do that more often. And I hope y'all that you're going to, I know some people don't want to hear about Eurovision after the finals, but I hope you stick around, because Eurovision should be a whole year thing and not just for like 2 or 3 months. It should be all the time, right? Especially now with the American Song Contest being a thing, although that's a whole different story how that's going to pan out. But yeah. So thanks again. I'll see you all tomorrow, and I cannot wait. Thank you. Have a good night. Final cheers for my water in a wine glass. Bye.